Good evening on a weekend. Good to see a house full. But I was just wondering when I was sitting here that we all talk of energy transition and we talk of generating more energy through renewables. Probably the topic of energy efficiency, an idea of reducing this or increasing this temperature in this cold hall from 22 to 25, where we could all take off our jackets, would save us millions of units across the country if we follow that. So that is one thing which probably we all should follow, because they say unit saved is unit generated. And all our resources are finite, including renewable energy. When I say finite, it is land is not infinite. We are trying to go into the sea, but we know the costs. So, just to start off, although that's not what I was supposed to say, but I was sitting there and I thought that this is very important. Well, I have gone through both the sides. I have been a CEO for companies which deployed large capacities. In my career, I have handled over 5 gigawatts of solar, wind, and battery storage capacities. And then, when I was discussing with MNRE and Ministry of Skill Council, they said, okay, we should see how a talent can be developed. So what I'll just show you is what Skill Council has been doing so far. This was a beautiful vision of our Honorable Prime Minister that without skill and talent, no matter what technology you want to deploy, you will not be able to do it. And we've got huge, humongous targets in front of us. So he created sector skill councils based on whether it's for aerospace, whether it is for agriculture, whether it is for textiles, and similarly for green jobs. So our team in Green Skill Council for Green Jobs, primary responsibility is to train people, primarily blue-collar jobs. We haven't moved to a stage where we are developing white-collar job people specifically for the thing. But, so this is the projection of the country by 2047. And can you see the kind of jobs we need? It's 35 million jobs, which would be probably more than some of the European nations' population. By 2047, that population would have declined further. So it's a humongous task what we have. By 2030, let's come to the near midterm targets. We need 1 million trainings. I don't know, we believe that, okay, we have got 140 crores population, so what is 1 million? But please understand, training 1 million would require at least 4,000 trainers also, minimum. So you have a challenge of not only training the young ones, you need to train the trainers also. And why I say this is because technology shelf life is so short that you don't know. Practically, even I don't know how to use some of the new technology products. So you have to keep evolving and challenging yourselves. Yes, as we say, challenges are what makes life interesting. But overcoming those challenges makes life meaningful. So we have to make our life meaningful. We have got, this is what we have right now. I don't want to just read through this. And we want to double this numbers in next decade. Somebody did talk about the new schemes which Government of India has launched so that every unit of electricity reaches to the poorest of poor. What is good about renewable and sustainable energy is that it can be made affordable to the most underprivileged class of this world, which otherwise was not possible. Well, we can give credits to a lot of people who worked hard to bring down the prices to less than 2 cents per unit, which is extremely cheap and affordable and clean. So, how many of us sitting in this, especially the Indians, understand one of the key objectives of Prime Minister Suryaghar Free Yojana? You see, it is interlinked to your overall growth of the energy sector. Today, every government worth its salt, irrespective of the political parties, trying to give free electricity to the people just to garner votes. But the fact is, you don't provide them with 24/7 electricity. You promise them free, but the electricity is never there. This scheme, when you put it up at the government expense, is valid free for 25 years. You get free electricity at least during the day, and as the battery storage becomes even more cheaper, you could install a small battery unit also and get some electricity in the night also. What does this do? This frees up the blocked resources of the utilities to provide excess of energy to entire country. They don't have money to do that today. So it is killing two birds with one stone. One, you do away with this agenda of providing free power, because people are enjoying the free power. It is sustainable, and it gives some money in the hands of the utilities to expand and modernize. If they modernize, so what I said in before, a unit saved is unit generated, that is what is going to happen. Because we do all talk about supply side management, we don't talk about demand side management so much. And for all this, we need to focus on what trainings and what talent is required. Well, this is just which are the sectors? It's a whole lot of them which we are covering under our skill council. So you can understand the kind of resource and talent we need. And therefore, you need a lot of industry partnerships. Because we as skill council cannot do everything on our own. We do not have the ability, and you have to admit it, we can't have talent or skill to develop the people in every sector. So we are trying to collaborate, whether internationally, domestically, industry, NGOs, anybody, we are willing to shake hands. Just to tell you, CSR has become an important tool to finance some of our training programs, and we have got franchises all over the country as a part of CSR programs training people. And what is good, the jobs are required by the rural youth. Majority of the training centers are now coming up in the rural areas. So we are taking the training to the people who need employment rather than asking them to come to other centers. Because what gaps we found was that people are not willing to come to the cities from villages because they don't have places to live also. They don't have enough money. So the centers are being set up where we will be training them and providing them with some food also, so that they get trained and absorbed. And why do they get absorbed? Because all our projects, whether wind, solar, hydro, they're all in rural areas. That's where the land is. They're not in cities. So you get trained and you get absorbed there. Well, this is just a structure. This is what we have achieved so far. But what I want to speak about is the future areas. The initial 3, 4, 5 is okay, but from circular economy, again, circular economy is resource efficiency. You will have billions of solar panels being scrapped in next decade. Billions. Either you create a scrap and a huge mountain of garbage, or get into circular economy and recycle them. And this is where you need talent, innovation. You need people to be developed now so that you come up with this structures, factories, which will recycle them. Let's take the case of India. You would need different centers, 3, 4 in Rajasthan, 3, 4 in Gujarat, which are the hubs of these projects. You can't transport all those rejected panels to some center in somewhere in industrial. No. So that's an area where a lot of innovation is required, and we need a lot of talent also. Climate risk assessment, well, there are many people, including our President of America. He's a very good climate risk assessment. He believes there is no climate risk, so there's nothing is required. So I will not speak about that. Prevention and control of pollution is okay. And the new upcoming thing, AI in RE. There's hardly any talent available in AI, forget about in RE. And people are learning by their own job experience. We don't have talent. We don't have even teachers to train people in AI. This is a huge gap which this country needs to fill. And therefore, you need that how universities will change their curriculum so that at least the basics are understood by the students when they come out of colleges and schools. The use of AI in RE is becoming very predominant as we move forward. Whether we use drones connected with AI, whether we use SCADA systems, or how we integrate with the grid, everything is going to be with AI. And this is an area where we need large amount of skills and talent and innovation. Robotics in waste management. How many people like, the humans collecting all the waste across the countries, across the garbage bins, across the drainages? India has a law, in fact, that humans cannot be used. Now, this is again a huge innovation required. India is lacking. If we go abroad, especially China and all, robotics is all about making life easier, making life meaningful. And this talent is not required only to operate robotics, is also required to build robotics. And we have to skill people. Grid integration, extremely important. The way we are seeing the grids collapsing as penetration of RE is increasing. Spain, Portugal was a recent case, and California has been the past case. We have seen that. So grid integration with the help of AI is so essential, otherwise we could have blackouts, which is so detrimental to the industrial health of the country. Battery energy storage is a new upcoming field. Again, we don't have talent. What is happening is that same talent moves from one factory to the other without generating volumes. We need to set up training centers for battery manufacturing and operations at the places of operations so that we turn out people in thousands. Data-driven decision making. Very good, data-driven. We got a lot of data centers. How many of us know that data centers are the biggest guzzlers of energy in the modern world? And they will disrupt our targets of renewable energy if something is not done to bring in resource efficiency into data centers. Today, one thing is good, that investors are talking about green data centers. They will not invest money if you are not green, at least 50% not green. So that's an extremely important area. But data centers themselves require a lot of manpower. So whenever people talk about technology and innovation going away or doing away with the jobs, we are all highly mistaken. It is not going to be like that. It is going to create millions and millions of jobs. But it will bring efficiency into our system and the way we operate. Yes, you will not be able to go and sleep in your canteen after food, because there will be a time when AI will tell you your time is up, please go to work. This we are already doing. Another area, people talked about green hydrogen, and my friend there from UK also talked about green hydrogen. The talent and innovation problem is not only in India, it's across the world. And across the world it is more because they don't have manpower. So India could be one of the hub for providing skilled manpower in REA sector, even if it is on contractual basis. We have done that in Skill Council with Germany, and 1,000 trained solar rooftop installers today have been sent to Germany. But we need to integrate and internationalize the skilling. My skilling from Indian systems may not be applicable to UK or Europe. So let's have one standard and let's build an ecosystem of talent and innovation which is universal across the world. And that will be a win-win for everybody. Thank you.